What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gentlemen's Panel. Guys, I sound a little stuffy right now because my allergies are acting up. So if I'm sounding like, I'm underwater, that's the reason. I took a Benadryl, so I'm not too drowsy, but it's not going to be a 3-hour show tonight, guys. We'll do, hour, 20 minutes. Sometimes it runs a little longer. But without much further ado, let me bring the rest of the guys on. I'm bringing, like I always say, when he comes through, you hear music serenading you from the Greek Isles of Olympus, captivating Christian. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
He's stupid. What's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Okay. And like I've said a few times before, we have our own version of the Lion King documentary, Tiger King, I'm sorry. I'm blaming on the Benadryl, y'all. He that puts the money on the floor, he gets it. He's going to take your stimulus check if you don't act right. Period. Okay, there you go.
Okay, on period honor to the period. It's the official Kingpin, all the way from the home of the lituation. What's good, you guys?
Last but not least, the residential Rapunzel, whose hair is growing quite quick right now, and it's very thick and very luxurious as well. Before long, he's going to have a set of locks of his own. Jay Wilson.
Yes, I'm gonna have a bun just like captivating Christian and the Fisherman, but I'm gonna get twist first. All right, here I am. What's going on?
Right.
What's good?
How have you guys' week been so far? Since it's ending right now, we just got one more day, which is tomorrow. Thankfully, we're only working 4 hours tomorrow because they're, gifting us 4 hours. So I'm probably going to be out for work at about 8 or 9 o'clock. What about you guys? Have everything went back to normal as of late? How's everything with you guys and your professional life? I mean, are you still stationed at home? Are they looking to bring you slowly back on captivating?
Still stationed at home for right now. They probably will start to bring us back slowly but surely. But right now, still stationed at home and enjoying it. Although the stores and everything else are opening, I'm not gonna try it. I'm okay.
Kingpin?
Yeah, so I'm still working from home, but they've been trying to get me to come back to work, slowly but surely. I'm just trying to break the spirit of peace.
It kind of went out at the end. Yeah. You said you want to bring the spirit of peace.
That's all we heard.
I said I want to break the spirit. Okay, the sleeping spirit. Okay, I need to break the sleeping and this relaxation and all this peace, and I need to get back to work and get this money off the floor. Okay. But it's hard. Okay, I just been sleeping.
Okay, Jay.
I'm teaching one class. And I will start the new career in August. And so I'm excited about that. So things are happening very quickly. So this week has been very good for me. I'm scared of everybody, but it's been a good week.
Have everyone, where you guys are, have everyone been practicing distancing? What about masks? Do you see people more so with masks? Do you still see people that are not wearing them?
I mean, I'm a toss up between with the mask situation. Yeah, in places in which you go to the stores and stuff, you have to wear the mask because you have to. But just being out, I mean, oxygen is good too. You do know that we exhale O2, and trees and plants and stuff, they inhale that and they breathe out oxygen. So it is, good to be out in the air. Necessarily not around a whole lot of people, but just to be out in general.
When I'm bike riding, no mask, because I'm not stopping to talk to people, and just like captivating, it's air, so I'm really not in a close proximity to anyone. However, I think when you are in stores and things like that, you really need to have your mask on. Rebel, you're in Texas, and people act like that we don't have a rise in COVID cases, and we really do in Texas. And so I think it's going to really increase because people are acting like that this thing is going away.
Absolutely. I haven't been forced to wear any face mask. I generally don't like anything on my face. Some stores, require you to, but I've opted out of going to those stores that require you to wear the face mask. They used to say that, the face mask will help you get the virus quicker. So I'm gonna go with the first thing that they said. Period.
Okay. So I'm looking at right now, I've been looking online and following some stories about how long the duration, a lot of movies that were set to come out have been pushed back to September. Like they're pushing the movies back to the fall. So, you can only imagine how much money is being lost. And then when the theaters open up, how many people are going to be comfortable going to a movie theater?
However, I think drive-thrus are going to make a comeback.
Yeah,
I think they are. I think drive-thrus are going to make a comeback, and I think people feel safer at the theaters near me. Since they are massive theaters, they're using their back walls and their side walls to actually project the film, and people are driving up, paying to see the film. So they're getting creative because, believe it or not, those actors and actresses have to make their money. If there's no films, there's no money.
Okay, I want to just give give you guys a little something to consider before you come in. My moderators, people can have their opinions in the chat, but if they get disrespectful over here, I want you to snipe them without a second thought if they do it. Now, what were you saying? You were going to add something captivating?
No, I wasn't about to say anything in regards to that. I was just saying that I think drive-thrus will make a comeback as far as people going to the movies. I think everybody's kind of become conditioned to the Netflix thing and Hulu and all that. And with the actual big movie companies pushing out movies early for those, things like Netflix and Hulu during this whole time, I think it'll just continue. And people really won't come out to movie theaters.
Because I can definitely see that happening because we have some movie drive-through theaters. There's not many, but I can see places definitely looking to, use that market that hasn't been used.
Absolutely. Although I like the movies and everything, I'm going to need you to be comfortable with the Netflix and chill scenario because I'm way too busy to be going to movies. We can go every now and then, but I'm more of the come over and bring the movies over here. Okay.
How much can you enjoy it? How much can you enjoy a movie eating popcorn and stuff with a face mask on?
Well, they have the new movie theaters that have like the semi-bed couches things and all that kind of stuff to enhance your whole movie going experience, which have been cool.
And I've been to those.
Yeah, I've been to those too. But now it's like that second, that second thought. Who was laying on here? Have they sprayed it? All that kind of stuff that people will second guess now and doing things that normally we didn't pay attention to. But now we will start to pay attention to, which is a good thing because you should have always been doing that. But I just think, that would it'll just be
they don't pay them kids at the movies enough money.
No. And they don't clean it enough.
You need to bring your own disinfectant. If you gonna go, bring your own supply. Okay, on period.
But can you really get comfortable sitting there? Because people going to the theaters are gonna have face masks on. So are you gonna be taking your mask off real quick? Are you gonna have it like the things that they do in Britain, or even here when they put the little bags on the horses' mouths? Like,
and how are you gonna eat and drink your pop? How are you gonna eat the popcorn and drink the soda?
I can see drive-thrus. I can see definitely drive-in theaters. But after all this is said and done, guys, then you do have to go back into the regular, just go back to some semblance of normalcy. So with that being said, if you're you meet someone, you have a COVID a COVID romance of some sorts. Would you date someone that would come along if they had children, if they were in custody of their children, or they had little children there from their family all the time? Like, they had their nephews and nieces, or, every time you go over there, they had a house full of children. Cap, I'm going to ask you first.
Why? Because I was laughing at King Pain face, but I can't laugh now. I don't have a problem with children. I don't have any of my own, but I have tons of nieces and nephews and godkids and all kinds of stuff, and adopted whomever. So I don't have a problem with kids. I think that's a great thing. I was raised by my stepfather, so I definitely have a soft spot for children. With that said, do I have a problem with somebody if I'm dating somebody and they have a kid? No. Now, my issue probably would come if you're not disciplining your child and you let your child just run and do whatever. That's probably where my issues would lie, because I just didn't grow up in that. It was like, stay out of grown folks' business, and if ain't nobody say nothing to you or ask you nothing, then don't you answer, that kind of thing. So I would probably have an issue with that, but other than that, no.
See, me, I don't care if you have kids. You can have kids, and I don't care what your kids do. Okay, as long as you don't make your kids my responsibility. Okay, that's when it starts to become a problem. Okay, see, I don't mind keeping an eye. Okay, I don't mind keeping an eye on your kid. And if we get into a serious relationship, you know what I'm saying? Your kids will become my kids. But until that day, okay, period, them is your kids, and you need to watch the badass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, I get you, King Kong, but still, still, even in that like dating stage and getting to know, at some point you do interact with them. So,
Absolutely.
you kind of still build a relationship or a rapport with them. So you still kind of want to keep it
cute.
Yeah.
I interact with the kids. I hang with the kids. I'm a barber, so I'll cut your kids' hair, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The kids love me. Okay, but what you're not going to be doing, you're not going to be dropping your kids off to me while you go to work or go hang out with your homies.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
And it also, do you guys think age is a factor in how old the kids are? Jay?
You know what? I've dated people with kids, but they weren't kids. They were 24 and getting ready to graduate high school. So how many? Do you have custody of your nieces and nephews? How many? Because it's one thing to just say, I'm going to take them to the amusement park you want to go. But then another thing when they're all at the house, and you got to think about the timing. If I want to go on a date, but you got umpteen kids and somebody got to do this. So my thing is,
so you're going to go to the park, you're going to go to the amusement park with your season ticket?
Thank you, Tweety. Thank you for the super chat.
It depends. Everybody is different. So I have dated people who have older children or adult kids. So that worked. But when it comes to the smaller kids, like King Payne said, how many are those nieces and nephews are there? Are you willing to share that time? Because the more kids, the more time that you may not have. So you have to be cognizant of that. One kid, maybe two, but then you got to think. And if you really love the person, you have to love their kids. I'm like King Payne too, and Captivating Christian. Are your children disciplined? What's the discipline like? So I think that all depends on the person, their child, the discipline, and how many.
And even if, another thing that added to that, what if the kids are old enough to know their father's lifestyle? They may have an issue with it and may be disrespectful to you because they already don't like that their father is gay.
Well, he needs to check. He needs to check that. He needs to handle that. That's not mine.
I remember a guy I dated. And his little girl, this little fast tail little girl, gonna say, "You got eyes like a girl." I was like, "Oh, it's so adorable." I said, "Isn't she the sweetest little thing?" But she was like a daddy's girl, so she was very much like, "I want," like huffing and puffing, and I told him something. I said, listen, that's your child, but you're creating a monster because this little girl is becoming spoiled, and she's using that you and her mother are not together to do, and you know, be in that child's life, but don't let them just get everything because you feel that you're not with her mother, so you're going to give her more anything. And she throws a temper tantrum, she's getting things, she shouldn't be rewarded for those types of behaviors. But yeah, I wouldn't, hell, I will date someone with kids, but also just like you guys were saying, the respect level. Are the kids, do they have home training? You know, are they, what age are they? Are they teenagers that think that, you know, they're going to come over when I'm there and like run everything, you know, because some kids will be like, that ain't my daddy, you know, and they'll be like disregarding you. But, you know, hell, kids, hell, I dated someone with a dog and I broke up with him because the dog was pissing everywhere. So,
again, because the owner let the dog piss everywhere.
And, you know, don't take that people that's in the bushes and say he was comparing kids to dogs, so that's not the case. But with that being said, I wanted to ask you guys, what kind of thing gets on your nerves more than they should? And I'm going to go with King Payne first. What kind of thing gets on your nerves more than it should?
Okay. I don't like dust. Okay. Dusty men make me sick. Okay. I cannot. Not dirty, dusty, like, just late, like out of style, like whack, see, they don't know how to dress, unappealing, unattractive, like dusty, like ugh, like back up, give me 50 feet. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Cap.
Are we talking? I guess we're talking dating wise, in a sense. Is that what
it doesn't have to be dating. Just any. Well, it's just what gets on your nerves. What could be something that gets on your nerves, even if you're dating, or more than it should? What's something that?
More than something that gets on my nerves more than it should.
Yeah.
Probably in the manner and the way people say things. I'm always quick to correct someone, like if they pronounce something incorrectly or something like that. That really gets on my nerves. But I'm working on.
Yeah, because sometimes different regions make things in a different manner. So
I'm working on not so quick to correct people and just be like, I know what you meant in my head, and just go with it, like without going, oh, you meant this. And like, yeah.
Jay?
Willful ignorance and people lying and coloring the truth. That gets on my nerves. Willful ignorance gets on my nerves. That really bothers me, and lying folk and coloring the truth. If you're gonna tell it all. Don't leave nothing out. Half truth is all lie to me. And so, that really, yeah. That's my biggest thing. And now I'm just really pulling away from it to know that it's a reflection.
Thank you, Trina, for the super chat.
So yeah, it's a reflection of the person. And it's not only on YouTube, but it's church people, it's with people at the office. People won't go study, they won't go look, they want to tell you 50 things, but yet it's all about because what I heard, and they don't go and research it. Right. That bothers me. And like I said, coloring things, captivating could say, no, Jay Wilson, and then people will take it like, oh, he checked Jay Wilson. And all out of context. People do it. So yeah.
Right. Because even like when I said that about, the guy having a dog, someone could be like, what was Rebel trying to say? Was he trying to make kids compare? Was he just right. Anything to fit their narrative. As weird as it may sound, I've heard Stranger Things on YouTube. But this next question is almost along those same lines. A petty reason you wouldn't date someone, Jay.
Again, what was that?
A petty reason you wouldn't date someone. Petty. What would be a petty reason you wouldn't date someone? That people may not look at as being that serious, but, you may be a bit extra in that aspect.
Being 50, living with their mama without any valid reason.
That's a good one.
Being older, living with some. You know, my thing is this: if you're gonna have a roommate, at least have a car. And if you don't have a car, at least have a house.
And some things are temporary, though, Jay, as well. Some things are temporary
No,
because
I know somebody right now. I can understand with the temporary. You done had a setback. You done had a layoff on your job. I get it. But some people, mama is fine. Mama going to bingo and keno every night, hanging out with their girlfriends. But you stand there and because you want to mooch. I've seen it, and it ain't cute to me. And I don't want to be coming over my house all the time. That would be a petty reason. Some people can deal with that, but that's my reason, I guess.
Captivating.
Petty reason. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if this is petty, but like if I had to pay for everything all the time, yeah,
Girl,
that ain't petty.
That's not happening. Like, peace out. Like, granted, I get it. Everybody goes through struggles and everybody, but then you at least find a way to make your date time kind of special, even if that means you got to get stuff from the dollar store. You know what I'm saying? Like, find a way to be inventive to make it different. I should not have to always dig in my pocket to be like, oh, here.
You just said dollar store, so I guess that's petty for me too.
King.
Yes, to piggyback off of what both of them said. Okay, long gone are the times where we building these men up. Okay, I'm not interested in building nobody up anymore.
This is not building, man.
This is not build me a mate. Okay, on period. A petty turnoff for me is men that lack motivation. Okay, men that lack goals, men that lack direction. Okay, if you don't have no direction, okay, if you don't have nothing going on in your life, I'm going. I can't teach you them things. Okay, if your mama can show you how to do it, I'm not about to pit in this. I'm not. Okay, I'm trying to told you, man.
Can I add to that too? And a man who got gold in his mouth.
Oh, girl, no, I like the men that had a goatee.
It's something about go-to people that.
But that's like an '80s thing, though, Jay. Like people that were born like
people.
Because there are people I know that are like in their 50s or 60s that may still have goals because they came through that Shaft and Foxy Brown era. So they kind of. It's a whole.
My problem would be if that can't come out of your mouth, like just
that's what I'm saying.
If it's stuck in it and it's permanent, yeah, I would probably have an issue with that.
I don't know. I like you, girl. I can deal with all the goats.
No, the pictures always.
What about the grill?
I'm not.
I like the ones with the diamonds in it that sparkle. Okay. Yeah, got the whole mouth. It costs like $30,000 to get the whole. Yeah, that's the men's that I like. Okay, if any of y'all got a $30,000 set of teeth in your mouth, yeah,
okay.
So you are like Lil Wayne?
Period.
Well, so if you get somebody who got that,
so what if they
are an entertainer or a drug dealer?
Okay, because what if their breath is funky?
So they don't have all that in their mouth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what if their breath is like really funky from all that?
Yeah, that'd be a petty turnoff, girl. We wouldn't even be talking real. Okay, period.
And then they got to spend all of that time polishing their teeth. So let me tell you a story about somebody who had 2 gold teeth right here in school. They came from Miami, and they would spend time doing this. This is all they would be doing. They would have polish, and they. And he took all of that time to be. I'm like, for real though. I'm like, that's too much. That's too much.
That's country when they have just the one tooth.
I couldn't deal with that. No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I think that something petty be someone that maybe piss on the toilet all the time, or if I go to if I come to your place and every time I come over there, it's like your bathroom is like nasty or your kitchen is nasty. I'm like, and that may not be a petty thing, but if I don't like that cleanliness.
and they got rings around the toilet. And
Well, I mean, it says a lot if the person invites you over and they didn't bother to clean it.
They just
right
might be
there, you might want to run for the door.
What if they just comfortable being trifling anyway? Because some people just don't.
But then that's your sign. Go about your business.
Right. And that's why, again, they would be okay. But and even if I'm at a party and I see someone that's interested in me, and every time I go to a party, they always come empty-handed. I be, because you're a user.
Speaking of a party, what would be a pet peeve for me is somebody who brings something and then takes it back home. Like if it's something nasty that nobody would eat that you made, then yeah, you have every right to.
They wouldn't know it was nasty, but
they would, because it would be touched.
It is. When I lived in Chicago, I had Moscato and White Zinfandel because Black people love some sweet wine. So I said, let me have my Moscato or White Zinfandel. And every time I went to the party, I just grabbed that bottle and had a bag and presented it. And they were happy with it. But yeah, don't come empty-handed. And my thing is, if you bought 24 cans of soda for a party, don't take it back. That's so.
And even when you bring stuff to a party, when I brought something, like if I made something, I would have put it. I said, hey, do y'all have like a dish I could put this in? Because I may not want to leave that particular pan over there because I'm going home back to the northwest side of Houston to pick up a pot. But if I say, hey, do you got like something I can put this in? Because it's tacky. If you come over there and get full as a tick and you can barely be rolled out of there, but you still take your food back with you, that is tacky.
That's very tacky, especially if it's food. You don't ever take the food with you.
Another thing that really is a turn off, and I don't know if it's petty, it just could be home training, but if somebody pays for the meal, at least try to attempt to leave the tip.
Or how about this? If you out eating with someone and say you don't finish fries or something, and then they take your fries and put it in the to-go thing and take it with them without asking you, hey, you gonna eat those before you take it?
Oh, yeah. I've seen people do that. I wouldn't
be worried. They must have been hungry.
Well, I mean, that's the thought. You just think, okay, you was hungry, cool, got it. But like, at least ask. That's
kind of that's tacky.
If you let the whole to-go box come and you didn't get one yourself, you must have didn't want it anyway.
No, but I mean, the person just brought it.
They should ask.
The waiter just brought it because the fries were there. So it was like they weren't your fries. So why would you not just ask and go, hey, you gotta eat those? If not, I'll take them. Like you just took them. I'm paying for the bill, and as I'm paying, you literally like scoop two.
See, I'm thinking they paying for it. Okay, I'm period.
No.
Yeah, that's really bad. Another thing that really bothers me too, Rebel, is when you are first going out on a date with someone and they are just extremely rude to the wait staff. Like, they're taking stuff back and do that. That's a turnoff. That's an absolute turnoff to me. And I'm talking about for no unwarranted reason. Just to be nasty, that's a turnoff.
Or even reaching into it. If I just met you, don't reach into my plate and grab something out of my plate. Just because to me, it's like, say, if I'll offer to you, hey, you want some of this? This is good. You want some? But if you're just reaching over and trying to eat out my plate and I just met you, that's,
in this Rona circumstance now, I don't know where your mouth been. Anyhow.
Okay.
You might know later.
One of my biggest is when men try to show off in front of their homies. The other day, I went out to eat with one of my friends, right? We go out to eat all the time. And, most of the time I pay, you know what I'm saying? But he pays sometimes. But he comes get me the other day. He's like, look, we're about to go out to eat. He got one of his other friends with him. I'm like, okay, that's cool. No problem. I don't ever feel no type of way. So we go to the restaurant and he orders the food and he's like, you're going to pay for your own food. I'm like, no, I'm not. He was like, oh, you're not paying for, why you can't pay for your food? Because I'm not. Because you over here making like you paying for that. You're paying for this food. Period. I made a big scene. And I did make a scene. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. Go pick me up, take me to a restaurant, and tell me I'm paying for my food while you paying for this nigga food. Why are you paying for his food? We go out to eat every other day. Me and you. It be me and you all day. Then one of your homies come around.
That sounds like a Call Tyrone moment.
That does sound like Call Tyrone.
That sounds like a Call Tyrone.
And if you invite somebody, so let's say Rebel, let's go to dinner, then you should pay. If I'm inviting you to dinner, I'm gonna pay for it.
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Rebel, let's go somewhere to eat. It's my treat. But if I'm gonna invite you, then usually I'm gonna pay for it.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of people get that misconstrued. I have a lot of female friends, especially one in particular, love her to death, but she definitely has that whole thing, I guess, because she's a female and I'm a male. It's like she'll say, "Oh, let's do lunch," and then it'd be like, "Okay, cool," and we'll eat, and it'd be like, yeah, I got the tip." And I'm sorry, but we're not fucking. We're not fucking, honey. I mean, I love you and all this,
but that's why I asked. So are you inviting me? Do I have to bring money?
Well, I mean, now I'll be like, girl, I'm paying for my own. Now I'm at that level. Like, I'm like, sure, we can. I'm not paying for you though. But before I used to be like, what is this? Like, I know that you're used to men doing this, but we don't have that type of relationship. I'm not going to take you home and bang your back out and all that kind of stuff. We are just friends. So this is what's going to happen moving forward. So, but we're better now. But at first, in the beginning,
pain, right. So that was just thrown in there, right? That little snippet. What about this? If a person is visiting you in your city, and they stay out of state and they stay in another city, they're visiting you, do you let them pay? If y'all go out to eat, for me, I would pay.
You pay.
I pay because I'm like, you're already
the host city always pays.
So I should pay. But I've seen people let their visitors come into town and pay for the meal. But
that's crazy.
I
don't know about every meal.
Always at least pay for the first meal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know about every meal. Now, if you just want to go, oh, let's go here, let's go there, then you need to be like, okay, well, listen, the first one's on me, and then blah, 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 blah. And then also that also depends on the type of relationship you may have with the person coming to visit. Again, if it's just like a friend that's coming to visit and hang out, yeah, of course, I'll pay for the first one, and then, we could split and go Dutch on the others. If it's somebody you're interested in, you need to probably have that conversation too, because some people come down or come to places with expectations. You never know, that person can come with no money in their pocket thinking you gonna pay for everything.
Well, we have an instance of people going to Vegas with no money. So
see, one thing about me, I always got me. It don't matter where we go. You take me anywhere, okay?
Exactly.
Whether you got me or not, I got me.
Right.
You ain't never gonna leave me messed up.
My mother's always told me that as a youngster, like, you don't go nowhere with no money in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you make sure
you get back.
You make sure you cover yourself. Right. At the end of the day,
you don't know how they cut up.
Yeah, if I don't got no money, I'm not going nowhere with you or nobody else.
Nobody else. Right. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
we've seen it on YouTube of people going places with no money and stuff, and not giving folk they change back. We done seen it.
Oh, them boots are made for walking, baby. I want the women.
Them hands may be made for washing. Be careful.
I want the women to participate in this.
Sound like a whole charity case.
Okay, the next question that I sent to the guys was, can a woman lead a relationship? Is a man considered weak if he lets her lead? Is a man considered weak if he lets the woman lead the relationship? Cap, and I'm looking, the chat as well. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I come from a family of where the woman kind of led the house, and my stepdad kind of just, understood. I mean, he played his role in parts where she, of course, did not, she didn't really step, but you knew who ran the house. You knew who ran the house, who did all the, it was evident. I just think it takes a strong man to be able to understand that and flow with it and not feel intimidated that they don't get to walk around like, I'm the boss because I'm the man kind of thing. That's just
because that happens in celebrity relationships a lot of times. If the woman in the relationship is the bigger celebrity, and the husband may not be big into,
right.
That's like Nicole Kidman, or someone like Angela Bassett, someone that's maybe they're an assistant to they're in the background. But Jay, what do you think? How do you feel about
what? It depends on the culture. It depends on the relationship. Many women are leading the relationship, like Cap said. And some women think they are leading relationships. So, for example, I know a friend, and he came late to pick up his wife, and she was hot as fish grease. She said, "You always come late. You always do this, and da 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 da." And he said, "You know what, baby? You so right." He said, "You right, baby. Well, I know, but you gotta come." And all of a sudden, that whole thing, because he said she was right, came right on down. And she went and cooked him some catfish and some slaw. Okay, so it depends. It depends. But some women are already leading. It depends on the culture, and sometimes it's co-leading. So sometimes the woman has a big say in this, but then in other instances, the man has a larger say in that. So it depends on the people and the culture.
It does, King.
See, let me choose my words carefully. Okay. See, I think it depends on what you mean by lead. Now, I'm not a big fan of the whole woman taking the lead thing, because I just feel like there's some things that women should not be in charge of when it comes to taking the lead in a relationship. Like, for example, protecting the household, security. You know what I'm saying? That should be the men's job, securing the household, making sure that you guys safe, whether you guys need to get a gun, an alarm system, you board up the windows, however, you got baseball bats, knives by the bed, however you going to do it, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, the woman should have to take on that role, when it comes to taking the lead, and then, also disciplining the kids. Sometimes, you need that male figure to step in. You don't want the mother to be just the mean guy all the time. You know what I mean? And maintaining the household, taking out the trash, okay, providing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the woman should assist, but I feel like the man should, if he has to give every last dime, he got to make sure everything's he gonna have to do what he got to do, to make sure his family is good.
Well, what if I feel from Liberty City and she already know how to use a bat and a gun before they even get married? Because let me tell you something. It's a woman in Florida, on-site April, baby. I bet you on-site April know how to maintain a house and security. I guarantee you she would. So what about somebody like that? Because
then he said, does it make the men look weak? So if the woman is taking charge, she's securing the house, she's holding she's toting the gun, you know what I'm saying? She's doing in that case, the man does look very, very, very weak if he can't take care of his basic jobs.
Yeah, well,
as a man.
Well, I mean, I guess in my growing up, my father did, take out the trash and do all that kind of stuff. But as the kids, we were told to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, yeah, he did it, but if he was still at work or not home before the trash came out, we had to do it. My mother made us get out and shovel the snow and clean the back and the front yard. And it was like, what is he doing? What does he do? So I did not know what kind of relation, not until I got older, the kind of relationship that they did have, in which he did handle certain things, and she handled the house mainly. But
when kids come along, kids are supposed to help. We always, if you go back to when you was younger, your parent always says, get your ass over here, do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? They be calling you from the back room and stuff like that. Kids come along and they're supposed to make the job easier. So you came along and you were taking on some of your dad's role, but before you were there, he was doing all of that. Okay,
well,
you just made his job easier.
But about the discipline, I would rather my father discipline me because at least he did it. My mama had to go in this whole diatribe, and I didn't want to hear all of that. Just get it over with.
No.
So it depends. I mean, my dad just did what he had to do. It was quick. It was over. I didn't want to hear all of that. So it depends.
No, my mother was a disciplinarian.
I think the women in my family were more disciplinarians. The men would let the kids get away with, because I don't remember, my grandfather never spanked me, but my grandmother did spank me. My grandfather would be like, "Boy, don't do that again. I'm gonna get you if you do that again." And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And I would probably do it again shortly thereafter. But I do think that it's all about what a person's strengths and weaknesses are. Some people are better at some things. If it's a man and a woman, I would look at a man with a side eye if he's letting his wife get out there and cut the grass. Something like
that. Yeah, something, yeah.
My mom cut the grass for exercise.
Yeah, but the thing is,
my
mother started doing that for exercise. When we weren't at home, we'd be like, "Well, Mom, we can get somebody to cut the yard." She's like, "No, I like to cut it because it's exercise for me." And it was, the yard was the front yard. She wasn't cutting like some acres in the backyard. But I do think that it's all about, the strengths and weaknesses. Some people are the disciplinarians. What you're going to say, Jay?
But you got to be very careful. One thing I can say about my mom and dad, it was a partnership. And I never forget, they did separate once. And my mom knew how to pay all the bills. My dad didn't. And I'm telling you, it was a sad sight. And so they had to get back together because it was that serious of a partnership. But I think that if somebody is there, do it. I think sometimes men get these roles in their head that they're to be served. And my dad was like that. And I never came to my house. I said, "Now I'm doing this once. Don't expect this again." And I was very serious because, I've seen my sisters cater to him. Dad needs to play. And I'm like, well, he's going to get his plate. But I'm going to do this once and don't expect it again. And you are my father and I respect you, but it ain't that kind of thing. Just once, because I'm not going to be a servant in my own house.
Absolutely. In any relationship, you're supposed to honor one another. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that anybody should necessarily be in charge or, the head of the household. I think it takes two, and you guys are supposed to work together, and you shouldn't be with anyone that doesn't respect your opinion, and doesn't, that you can't convey a message to, that you can't get to understand, or that you can't gain some kind of understanding. Like your spouse just don't understand you, it's time to move on. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys can't come to any understanding, any agreements, or they always trying to run everything. Like no, it's a team effort.
Right.
We are one.
I do think that I remember when we were kids as well, when our grandmother would go to the store, it was. We would go out and get the groceries out the car because, the boys, I don't remember the girls going out getting the groceries out the car because she made a lot of groceries. The boys, they would look at us as these boys that are wrestling outside and playing rough. So we tended to do things that the girls didn't have to do. And I think that kind of formed how I look at women now. So because men are physically stronger for the most part than women. So there are some things that we can do better because of that, but
Rebel, you frozen.
You froze.
Oh,
well, all right.
Anyway, you all, I agree that it's a partnership. And at the end of the day, even if that man is going to make that decision, he should check with his wife. So you shouldn't be buying no big old car without getting your wife involved, and vice versa.
Yeah, it is a partnership. And everybody's partnership is different. And so what you consider to be your partnership, how your unit works, may not work for the next person. And we need to understand that too, as people, and people in different relationships and situations. What your parents had, you won't have. You will have somewhat a mirror a little bit, maybe, because there's certain things that would attract you to that person, or certain attributes that remind you of your, parent, or some sort of relationship that you model it after, but it won't be the same. So we always have to keep that definitely in mind.
Yeah, and
So
while Rebel
relationships
is
are
out,
definitely
you
give
all,
and take.
oh, I'm sorry about while Rebel is out, you all. I just got information that there was a shooting at the naval base in Corpus Christi, Texas, and they believe that it was terrorist related. It was a guard at the gate who was shot in the chest, but she lived because she had her bulletproof vest on. And
Did you Google that? Did you get that from Google? Did you get that from Google?
No, I did not actually. I saw it on World News Tonight with David Muir.
Oh, okay.
I have. So anyway, is that supposed to be some shade? Anyway.
No. I was just told I just heard through the grapevine that's all I
No,
do.
actually I saw it on there, and so see how I took that wrong. See, that's how people do. That's how people be doing. But anyway. But yeah, so all that's in Corpus Christi, Texas at the naval base. Rebel, you're back.
Listen, this internet, I have AT&T. It shouldn't do this, but it's like so many people may be on the internet at this time that is causing it to just kick me out when I've been on it and extended. If I'm here over an hour, it starts to do that. If I'm doing like StreamYard.
It's not Metro PCS.
No, absolutely not. No, sir.
Cricket.
No. Okay, what were you saying, Jay? I heard you saying.
I was just telling them about the naval base shooting in Corpus Christi.
Oh, okay.
Let me grab something on the base, but the lady who got shot is going to live. She had a bulletproof vest on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Thank God. By the way, while we're waiting for that, did you hear about the 11-year-old girl that got assaulted in South Carolina by this 38-year-old white man? She claims that the girl was stealing her mail when she was going to get the mail for her grandmother. I mean, these people are getting way out of control.
Yeah, she ran up to the little girl and shook the little girl like,
yeah, right,
shaking her like, girl, what are you doing? You know all the stuff like, Red. Sweet.
Yeah, and I think leadership has a lot to do with that. You all,
it comes from the
really
top. Atmosphere from the top. Yeah.
You got a man who's defiantly not wearing masks at events because he's just not a good example. And I just think that it is terrible. And the sad part about it is that Arbery was shot, and President Obama, or they would have something to say about that, and still nothing from him.
I'm still mad how they trying to criminalize the man for what just happened to him about something that happened way back. Like they're digging up the dude, the officer tasing him, who, again, he wasn't really doing anything. The officer came up to him and, started asking questions and being on. So it's just like, well, what are you trying to show? Are we always trying to criminalize
Black folk,
African-American people?
Black people.
We're always doing something, and we're not being subservient to them. We gotta get to a better space.
And I want them to start releasing these prisoners with these low-level cases in these prisons. If you can release Michael Flynn and all of these people for COVID, then you should be releasing other folk as well, because that's bugging me.
Yeah, Michael Cohen is being released because of COVID-19. He is the former lawyer of Donald Trump, his personal lawyer. He was supposed to do at least another two or 3 years in jail. So he's getting released early for COVID-19. A lot of other high name, even Murdoch has put his hat in the ring to get released from prison due to COVID-19. And
if you notice, they're only releasing the white celebrities.
Right.
They're not
and it bothers me about that. And you know what? I've heard people say, well, they deserve what they got, and that's why we shouldn't be worried about that, because you in prison for a reason. So because
across the board
made a mistake, should they die in prison?
But that's not necessarily true. A lot of people in prison, and this is a known fact, nothing from Google, okay? So a lot of people in prison are in prison because they could not afford the bond.
and
Yeah.
mental illness.
Right. They couldn't afford the bond. So they're sitting there waiting for trials that have been extended and extended and extended and extended, that they've been in there for a long time. And then other people, yes, it's mental illness. Let's be very
right.
clear.
Undiagnosed.
Right. We have a lot of problems in our community with mental illness, and it's not being addressed. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on in a system that is corrupt that just continues to,
It's funny how white men, before they go to jail, can be diagnosed with mental illness before they go to jail. But then black men, they're mental ill when they're in jail. So
no, white men, before they do anything, is mental illness. When they shoot up people, the first thing that they say is mental illness. But when something happens, even if somebody even tries to defend themselves, it's the first thing, thug. Oh, that's a thug. Oh, that's a thug. They just released the young man with the woman who was the EMT decorated officer who wound up getting shot because the police was, one, in the wrong apartment, two, just all together.
They announce themselves.
Right. So
you don't know who's breaking in on you.
And you have license to carry. So you're telling me that now this is the thing, you all. I just saw a video clip and it was a pit bull. And I'm just serious about this. It was a pit bull who had killed another dog and then charged at the animal control officer, and it had bit this man, ripped his pants rather, prior. The police did 2 hours to save this dog, but will kill a black man, but you can grab a dog.
Hands down. And I mean, and that's the problem. But that's the problem. There's a more level of decency for animals themselves, anything other than us. Right. We are all animals. We are all less than, we could go back and forth and, no, that's not true. Show me evidence where it's not. Because I can show you plenty of videos with their same color throwing their tickets back at them and doing other things and getting no kind of penalty for it. I mean, okay, you dragged the woman out the car in one video and arrested her. Okay.
You talk calm to those that look just like you. You're talking calm and pleading with them.
Yeah. How about the men in Oregon who took over that state park and they were barricaded with weapons, shooting at police officers, but yet they lived to tell the story? I think they shot one guy.
Yeah, you can look at even Michigan. You got the whole white militia going up to the state capitol, threatening lawmakers with their guns in the capitol like nobody's business. So much so that many, armed black people started to volunteer to secure a lot of the African American lawmakers in the capitol, where they walk them to their cars, walk them into the capitol, to their offices and whatever. So this is not a game at this point. At this point, people are really putting their marks in the sand, and it's not,
Well, I don't think that people should die in prison because they made a mistake. And I just think that is terrible what some of these people have said about these folk, because again, in Ohio, they have the highest COVID-19 at Marion and Pickaway prisons, higher than Cleveland, which is the largest city.
Prison period. Prison period is becoming the largest cases of COVID-19. Now, what I don't want them to do, if you're not going to sit here and, because it looks like that this is what they might even wind up doing, if you're not going to sit there and treat the people that are in prison and allow them to sit there and die, and then some people, what you're going to do, release them, and then they have it and spread it to their communities.
It's already happened in Ohio.
So it's a double-edged sword, though.
It's already happened.
But this is what I'm saying. And so it gets to a point where we have to start looking in our own backyards and saying, hey, what do we need to do to protect ourselves? Yeah, it's great to have, this one back home and that one out of jail because of a low offense. But we need to start making sure that we get tested, or that our community churches come together and not force people to pay. But if you can get free testing, then get the testing and test your people.
And have like some type of a halfway, you know how they have the halfway houses. When you release them, have them under quarantine for a period before you let them back into the general public.
Don't nobody want them tests.
Well, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I mean, folk don't want.
I'm not taking it.
Look, I'd rather get tested than to get the vaccine, because the vaccine is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no getting around that. The vaccine is it. So you mean to tell me, as of right now, just off of straight statistics, African Americans are, succumbing to this disease. So a lot more people, by getting the vaccine, will probably end up succumbing to it, because just it is what it is.
But they will also let you, some people I've heard say that they'll let you swab your own, septum. They'll let you swab your own nasal passage, because if they're sticking it up there, if this person is doing it, they may not have a technique that's going to be general. You could do it yourself.
But who's going to go up that far? Nobody's going to go up as far as they need to go. Nobody's going to go up that far because it's uncomfortable. So you're not going to really go up that far yourself, because you're going to stop where you feel comfortable. And that's not where they need you to go. They need you to go, like, literally up there.
But I think that when I've seen, like on Facebook, people that are giving themselves the test, I think if you went so far up in there, they'll know. I mean, when you give them the culture of it, but I'd let them administer it to me. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but I'd rather do that than be on a ventilator later on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
well, you shouldn't go get tested unless you're having symptoms. If you can't hold your breath for more than 10 seconds, you don't need no test. You're just paranoid. If you're not having problems breathing, if you're not coughing, don't get that test. Matter of fact, stay away from the hospitals right now. In any place where there's a lot of people. No, it's not if you can't. Stay away.
People get worse once they go to the hospitals.
Some people can't. I mean, some people can't for other conditions. I'm not saying for that. I'm saying for other conditions.
It's either the test or the vaccination. And my thing is, everybody's symptoms are not the same.
No, they're not.
Right.
So I just think you got to do what's right.
Because some people have it and they're not showing.
I would rather be tested than get the vaccine in me. I want to make sure if I get the vaccine that I really have it, and then make sure you get the right test, because some of these tests that they're getting now are not even effective.
What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people are going to get tested and walking away with the disease because it's there at the hospital. Somebody that came to that hospital with it. And the only reason you're there because you're paranoid, you want to make sure you don't have it. But I'm telling you, if you can breathe, if you can hold your breath more than 10 seconds, you do not have it. Yeah. Stay away from the hospital.
And there was a story saying that there's a possibility they were trying to link ventilators to the rise in deaths because of the force that the ventilators push oxygen through the lungs or what have you, that could cause a bit of a problem.
But let me say this, you all. A lot of people are asymptomatic. So I want to know if you have it, because you have a lot of basketball players who never even showed any symptoms and they spread it. So you just got to be very, very careful. Your zip code is going to determine too if you live or die as well. Right. So if you live in a poor zip code, then more than likely they're not going to have the tools. Right. So my thing is,
because your hospitals don't have it.
Yeah. So and it's showing the disparities between wealthy and poor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just shows it more and more. I mean, now all the governors are coming out like, "Oh, I'm so appalled by the disparities." I mean, these disparities ain't gone nowhere. They've been here. They've been here.
When they're just under a spotlight now.
President, but it's just that you see it now. There's nowhere to hide. Where you gonna hide? And that just brings people to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's like this. It's been this way. My suggestion is definitely fill out your census. If you haven't filled it out, if it hasn't been mailed to you, go online and fill it out. That's money that you can give to your communities, that can go to your hospitals, to your neighborhoods, to where in which you will be able to then have the funding, to have the equipment to handle things of this nature.
and vote and make sure
So
you're voting.
I believe that Summer and God is going to go ahead and get rid of this disease for us, okay? As the summer heats up, okay, and this is going to be one of the hottest summers that you have ever experienced in your life, mark my words, okay? It's going to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. It's not going to be able to spread like this.
I don't think so. I don't think so because unlike this is animal transfer to human, and I think as long as people continue to get in groups until we get a vaccination, this is going to happen. I'm sorry. I've heard too many church folks like Jesus gonna fix it, and they go right to church and the preacher die, or 15 people get it. No, this is.
No, I'm saying that the heat from the summer. This summer is going to be so hot that the virus, as the places that are hot right now, as the places are getting hot right now, those are the places that are not going to have any new cases.
Is hot right now.
Well, yeah, Texas and Florida are hot. Florida is hot right now too, and Florida is
1 degrees in Texas, and it's still spreading. And the
Florida is warming up too, and it's climbing. So I don't know.
And you know what they said at first? Remember they said kids couldn't catch it. Remember when they said kids couldn't catch it, and then it wasn't transferable to animals? So we're finding out later that there has been a lot of, just guessing. They don't really know how.
What happened is the Surgeon General told everyone, no matter what it is, to classify it as COVID. If anybody comes to the hospital right now sick with anything, it's COVID, 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 COVID. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not checking to see, oh, that's a common cold. That's this. They're so frightened by what's going on. Girl, stay 6 feet.
But
you got the COVID.
Realize that it is COVID, but this is COVID-19. So there are different COVIDs, but this COVID is animal to human. So yeah, it is COVID, but it's a different form of it. But
it's mutated.
It's mutated. Go with the scientists, and they're still trying to figure it out. So I'll be darned if I'm gonna listen to some crazy politician.
I don't ever listen to the scientists.
Well, I am
because they don't never tell you. They don't know nothing. They always say, "I don't know." If you can't never trust somebody and be like, "I don't know."
But the thing is, the official kingpin is your church doing research. That's what I'm saying. That man,
I'm not following my churches.
He said he wasn't afraid to go to church and
the only thing I can
control and drop dead the next week.
The only thing I can say God is showing us through all of this is definitely.
When it's your time, it's your time.
Well, amongst that, the level that some churches will go for greed,
right?
The areas where we're not protected as far as our communities, as far as healthcare, the shamble in our government is showing. Everything's exposed at this moment. So
I don't think it's the churches. I think it's the people making foolish decisions. Y'all cannot blame that on the churches because what it says in the Bible is very clear. Okay, the church is not supposed to be closed for any reason. Okay, and I respect the fact that they are closed.
This is the church.
The church is a building. Yeah, the church is a building. That's where
the church is a building, but in the Bible it says the church doors should never be locked. That's what it says. So they're referring. So in the Bible, God is referring to a building. So there's church. There's also a church building.
We all
on the internet.
No. I mean,
I ain't never heard the church
the church. Listen, if we are the church, the doors are the church.
Now that's what it does say in the Bible.
Y'all, wait, y'all. We can't hear anybody. Cap, what do you have to say, Jay?
I'm saying that if we are the church. And if the doors of the church are supposed to remain open, that would mean that you, are to remain open to others, to receive God through them and vice versa, and have that kind of relationship, that quote unquote fellowship that we like to call. Being in a building has nothing to do with it. And I know a lot of people glorify it because it becomes a social event. Because a lot of people will probably tell you now, oh, I can't wait to get back to church. Why? To see my pastor and socialize and see sister so-and-so and this and that one. Because it's become a social event. But it has nothing to do with that. The real nuts and bolts of it has nothing to do with that. You can have church in your own house by yourself. You don't need the group of people to have church. And the reason
I don't feel like because people want to have church that they're being greedy or they're doing it for money. They're doing it because to stay connected.
Well, I'm not saying everybody's doing it.
Because they have great faith.
I'm not saying everybody's doing it for greed, but it is clearly obvious that a lot of people are doing it for greed. Like that pastor that was asking for people to give their stimulus checks to him.
Right. And still put their health at risk when they came to church. People have died.
Why would you do that? You already, if you were a mindful shepherd of your sheep, right? You would already know that a lot of your flock is suffering, right? So why would you then ask them to give the extra bit of money that they may have to help with their bills to give it to you? For what? So God will monthly bless them with all this extra stuff. That's BS, man. Come on.
Oh, I think the whole tithes and offering is BS because, God don't need your money. He really don't. And anything God wants to happen, it's going to happen. He's a worker of miracles, okay? And, he don't need your money. He don't need your money. He don't have no desire for your money on the other side.
Well, this is the thing. You said that the doors of the church should always be open. So why do they have locks? It should be like Denny's. It seems like
you know what? In some places, I don't know what that's about. I've always wondered that. I always wondered that about the church. Because they don't trust the world. They're not. A lot of them try to keep the world out. But really, they're supposed to be.
They got water bill. They got gas, and
they're supposed to be trying to save the world one person at a time.
You are the church.
Okay, so they saving the world one person at a time, but yet some of these members are still taking public transportation to get to a church where their pastors and assistant pastors and everybody who deals in the money of the church is driving everything newly modeled or a year later. Come on, that don't
luxury cars, of course. They're not driving Toyota Camrys.
Or they're asking the church to help them fund to get a G5.
You know what I hear captivating? I hear a lot of church hurt. Like you was going to a big church and they was doing that to you, okay? Because I couldn't. I'm not gonna go to no church where it seems like the pastor is spending up the financial givings of the members. Okay.
No, let me be very clear. I grew up in church. I'm not church hurt. I've been in every program. I've started programs in my church. My church is well known in New York. There's nothing, but there has become a huge thing it's become a big money pot, and it has.
Official King Payne know what he's doing. At the end of the day, they had a whole COVID convention, and 15 people have COVID. So he know the deal. But thank you for that. Thank you for the little fire. But
okay, because baby, he is lit, baby.
No church is closed.
No, it's perfectly fine. I'm here.
But I honestly feel that when there's a will, there's a way. I do think that there should still be some kind of services, maybe very limited. But I don't run the world, okay? And shoot, if it was up to me, I don't know what the state of the world is right now. Okay.
In there because they had a whole convention, and I know for the jurisdiction of Kansas that they had it, and I know some people who 2-3 people done died in that region, and 15 people have COVID. And yes, because even the Kojic had a convention during that. So I'm bringing them into it because that's not fiction, that's fact.
But I feel like a lot of people already had the coronavirus already before they have even said it. I feel like I had it already way back last year because I was so sick. I ain't never been that sick ever in my life.
November, that's when they had documented some cases. They're saying it was November from what I was reading.
Because I went on a cruise.
You need to go get tested so they can take some of your blood and help the people then. Okay.
Those antibodies, yes. King Payne built up antibodies to fight it.
They're not putting that thing in my nose. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? You'll decline that thing.
You had all of that other stuff in your holes, and now you can't get no little swab.
Ain't nothing ever been in my nose. I promise you that. I ain't never put nothing in my nose. Okay.
Maybe if you let a DL man do it, maybe he might.
No, but I went on a cruise in December. If you guys remember, I went to the Dominican Republic. I went to Turks and Caicos, and I went to the Bahamas. Okay, when I went before the end of that cruise, I started developing a little cough or whatever. And I don't know if you guys watched the playlist with me and Armand throughout that whole season. It started in January. I had a little cough on the show, and at nighttime it would get really bad to where I almost couldn't breathe. And I came up on the only thing that helped. I came up on some promethazine with codeine in it. and it would suppress the cough, long enough for me to go to sleep and stuff like that. But at first I was really scared. I was like, okay, what is this? You know what I'm saying? I have this long causes thing. I'm thinking it's STD, so I go get tested. This is before
all. You doing that much on that cruise?
What is it?
Dominican Republic.
But it only takes one time. Okay, it only takes one time to catch STD, so don't even pull it.
I was trying to find
we out here educating the girls. Okay, you don't have to stick around multiple times to catch it.
No, I'm just saying with that booty.
No, because I didn't know. We didn't know it was a COVID back in November. They didn't say nothing about it being COVID-19. I didn't know nothing about COVID-19 when we went on this cruise. Okay, so I'm getting off this cruise, and that's when all this news is coming out.
What you do on the cruise, honey?
Nothing. Nothing. But there's a lot of people
island hopping.
Oh God! Fedora said that Tracy had all that coughing for weeks. So Fedora,
she had. What you mean she had?
The COVID. Fedora.
No, you're saying that like it's past tense.
Oh, Fedora said that's why she was doing all that coughing.
No, she looked like she's still sick, honestly.
Y'all were talking, we were saying about people getting let out because of the COVID thing. So that goes to the next question as well. Do you feel like felons have the right to vote? So these people that are getting released out of prison, because of COVID, do you think they should have a right to vote, guys?
They darn sure do.
I don't think nobody should lose their right to vote for any reason.
They darn sure do, because at the end of the day, if you're using them for the census to make sure that you're able to get representation in that particular county, then they should be able to vote. You can't use them and then talk about they're not going to be able to vote. Get that out of here. That's the more.
They take their debt back to society. If you had a person serving and doing their time, why are you going to constantly make them? It's like,
to me, even if they're in there, let them vote. If they're in there, let them vote. You counting them anyway. They count them as citizens of that particular county that they're in. So they use them for the census. So you might as well let them vote. Let them vote.
Jay?
Well, first of all, official Kingpin, I'm glad you're feeling better. But
I'm so much better. I started taking all kind of Dayquil, took a lot of Dayquil, all kind of stuff. So I'm good. I don't have no more cough, no more symptoms, no more anything like that. And it's been that way for at least 2 months now.
That's good. I'm glad you're okay. But I'm with captivating. Once people have paid their debt to society, then they shouldn't be penalized by more. And I think that when they get out of jail, I don't really think that they should be having that to get employment, because if they pay their dues to society, then why make them pay more? And this is when I think that we have an prison industrial complex, because we know that prisons make money. The state of Texas, the state of Florida, Ohio, California, these states where there are a high concentration of Black folk, prison period, but Black people, it was a county that begged for a prison because they know they could get the money. Somebody got to make money serving the prisons the grade D food that those prisoners eat. The companies benefit off of prisoners because they know they're going to pay them below minimum wage. Mm-hmm. So I just think that it's almost that we want to go back.
Yeah, it's a modern form of slavery. Even to the sense where you have, when the crimes could be committed by the same crime by two different groups, they'll sit there and tell the other group, oh no, we don't want to ruin the rest of their life. They may go on to do great things. So we're just going to give them somewhat of a slap on the wrist and let them continue to live their life. And the other person, you in jail, period, point blank. They don't care about the rest of your life or what that may do or stain, the rest of your career. It is what it is. So no, the whole system is corrupt and needs to be revamped. But hey,
they're scared of that vote though, because they know that most of those prisoners will vote Democrat for the.
But they just as scared as this mail-in. They're just as scared as this mail-in voting that's possibly going to happen. Mm-hmm. This is why he's starting the whole thing with the post office, not giving them funding. So if he doesn't give them funding, the post office will shut down. What would that mean? You won't be able to mail in your ballot, which means you won't be able to vote. Or if you vote, you're going to risk going to a poll and possibly getting COVID.
And
So,
why is he in Michigan? Because
it's a
he
deterrent.
talked bad about the car corporations in Michigan. And now they're going to most likely have to vote all of this stuff going on in Michigan. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's called voter suppression.
right, at its finest. I mean, even him being in Michigan right now, he's just doing that because they found out that his poll numbers are not looking that great. Because again, I mean, Joe Biden is who he is, but he's a nicer Trump. And they just want to see someone that looks like them in office.
Mm-hmm.
And, they are over Trump and his theatrics. They'll take the old man. Now, it depends on who the old man picks for his running mate that may make the difference.
That's going to make a big difference. Yeah. He definitely have to be very careful with who he chooses.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to? Okay. So the next question, guys, was, and I thought it was kind of odd that people are even asking this in this day and time. Can a straight man have a friend that's gay? Can a straight man be friends with a gay man? Guys, King Payne, I'll ask you first.
I have a lot of straight friends. I have almost all my friends are straight. So I think it's absolutely possible. Although it doesn't happen a lot. Because straight men have a lot of insecurities, and a lot of gay men are very, very thirsty. But if there's a gay man that isn't so thirsty and a man is secure with themselves, then I find that it is very possible for a gay man and a straight man to be good friends.
Jay?
Yeah, you can. And a lot of my friends are straight, and there's no issue. When you have an understanding, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it can happen. It's happening now.
What about you, Cap?
Of course. I mean, one, we're all not sexual deviants, okay? Every man you see, you don't want to go jump their bones. Sorry, some people who think
there are some of us that are like that.
Going to rump and hump everybody. That's not the case. Not every man wants to go rump and hump anything that they see. I have plenty of straight friends. We communicate on a different level. I know certain things that I'm not going to talk to you about. There's certain things you're probably not going to talk to me about. But we're cool. You just find your space and you fit and you make it work. I don't know why that's even in a question.
But you know what, though? The big thing about it too, Reb, is you're gonna have people who try to jump everybody's bones. It doesn't matter your gender,
right? But that's my exact point. There are women and men who they sit there and they have female friends, but they don't jump their boat. So it's like, why is that even a topic?
Can a lesbian be a straight? What about can a lesbian be friends with a straight woman? And I see that all the time as well.
They can, yes. But again, people have to know, you have to set your boundaries and your lanes, and you just rock with it. You can respect the person for their choices as far as their sexual choices, and just be respectful, and that's it. But you can continue to be their friend. Now, it gets crazy when you start to play and cross that line, and then the person's like, well, what's going on, and then they're confused because they don't know, hey, what happened here? We was just cooling, and then all of a sudden now you want to lay in the bed and you want to spoon with me, all that kind of stuff. I think people can say, we do that. I just think that's a bit much. That's
some gay men that I've known throughout the years have been very, very thirsty. And I've seen them be so pushy that they've left a negative impression in a straight man's mind, because he may feel that every gay man that wants him has some ulterior motive, whereas that's not the case with a lot of us. A lot of us are not even attracted to that particular type of a man anyway.
But see, then that could just be that man's attraction to that type of man, that type of, I like to get straight. There are men out there that like to get straight men. There's no doubt about it. That's their hunt. That's their go-to. That's what they feel comfortable with. And when because it's like this whole, you turned a man out. How could you turn someone out? Obviously, he had to have some curiosity somewhere in there for him to do it. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't, period. So I'm not even understanding how people say, "Oh, it kind of turned him out." Turned him out how?
And even they think that because you're gay, it's just this. They're gay, so there's without a shadow of a doubt, they're gay, so they must want me. Thank you for the super chat, Nasty Blue. They must want me. This one coworker I had in the OR years ago, he told another coworker, I walked down the hallway and I licked my lips looking at him. Now this guy looks like a black version of Danny DeVito. He looks like Beetle with a splash of Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. But you're saying that I licked my lips like I was a damn cat, and I licked my lips at you for what? And I was like, are you kidding me? So I'm a gay man, so automatically because he's straight, I can't resist him now. And you know, I have straight friends. I know a woman. Listen, women. Now you should give your man the side eye if he want to go every weekend with his gay friend to the club. Now that maybe you know, a cause for alarm at that point. You know, if he start picking up a lot of girls, then you know he's being, you know, really extra.
I have a friend that went all the time, but he would go from time to time only because he knew that women were going to be there, and you know
that's different.
He would have to go through the whole explanation. I'm here with my friends, but he would go to pick up on the women. I mean, they would take a while to be like, "Well, why are you here?" You show you here with your friends, but eventually he would get them and do his own thing. So, I mean, I know men that do it.
And you may have a lot of common similarities. You may be like on a bowling league, or you may like to ride motorcycles. You're part of a biking club. You may hunt, you may fish, you may do all of who I sleep with. Straight men generally are not really talking about sex like that unless they're bragging about who they, you know, did something with. But they're not like women and have their relationships are not as intimate as a woman's relationship. So you could be friends with a straight person. You're not going to be talking about sex. You could be talking about you know, a host of things.
Go ahead, King. Go ahead, let it out because you was over burning.
No, I
know King like trade, so that may go. You know, trade may be.
I don't know if they like going to the gay club now. There could be something there. Maybe you just not they type, okay? And they looking for something. But if they like going to the gay club, I would kind of be giving them the side eye and be watching them extra close. But most of my straight friends like to go to the straight clubs. I like to go to straight clubs too. But yeah, they would they'd be really upset if I pulled up to the gay club. Let me just tell you that.
You know what? Can I say this too? And I find it very often, when I was single, that I would go to the straight clubs
when you
had more dates after the straight clubs than the gay clubs.
You said you were single?
Your screen ain't froze. Why'd you act like this? Make it like your screen froze.
You're right.
Well, no, I found that to be very odd. And I mean, seriously, I mean, I would go to a straight club and it was like, for real, and I know people just go to straight clubs because, so
the men think that the women, just like what Cap is saying, I knew guys that go with their gay brothers or friends because they'll be like, it's less competition here. I know I can get me a female, here. And I'm like, okay, well.
I took one of my straight homeboys to the gay club one time, girl. And by the time the club was over, he was gone, girl. I don't know who he left with, but I know he came back home at 3:00 in the morning, girl. And I just never questioned him about his experience that night. But he met somebody at the gay club.
Maybe it was a gay woman.
I just, like I said, sometimes they just not interested in you, girl. But there be somebody that girl, they looking for.
And look, and King Pay, along those lines, you had a question that you posed to all of us. What was that question?
Absolutely. Again? So my question for the panel today, y'all know I got to come with, what I say, the hot question, okay? Have you guys ever been injured during sex, okay? And if so, what happened?
Jay.
I haven't been injured. I may have caused the injury, but I haven't been injured.
No, okay. What happened?
I need me a cocktail.
What happened?
Oh, I wasn't injured.
I know, but how did you cause the injury? How did this accident occur?
Yeah. Anyway, just regular wear and tear.
Okay. Period.
Not regular wear and tear.
Captivating.
No, I haven't had an injury per se. Just the one time this person went a little down too hard, and I kind of thought it might have broke it because it did hurt. It was a little uncomfortable. But that was I mean, some people like the size and they get very excited and they want to, pounce on it. But it's like, please be careful. It is an instrument. It belongs to me. So be careful. But that's what happened.
Yeah,
But I'm good now. I'm fine now. But
Okay, that's good to know that you've healed.
I was a bit nervous. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I
King
think
Payne.
he healed up from that injury. Okay, I'm here.
Like he was like Wolverine from the X-Men when he healed from that. I'm sure.
Okay, period. So so I've had an accident before. It wasn't like, like nobody got injured, like we had to go to the hospital or anything, but I was messing with this DO boy one time, right? And
Now that's a shocker.
right.
we was on like this twin size bed. Okay, I was at my sister's house. We wasn't even supposed to be doing what we was doing. Okay, and she was on her way home or something. So I was in the room or whatever, and we was messing around or whatever, and then like the phone rang or whatever. Something happened. Like my sister was on her way, and we like fall off of the bed. It was hella funny, but we got back up like nothing ever happened, okay, and finished, what we was doing. But we always laugh about that moment to this day whenever we speak, you know what I'm saying? We always talk about that time we fell off the bed.
Now, was it an elevated bed or was it just a regular
bed?
Yeah, was it elevated?
Yeah, it was elevated.
Oh, okay, one of the elevated beds. Oh, yeah.
It was elevated. It might have been a queen size bed. I don't know. It was
doggone. It was twins.
It was small. It was smaller than what I'm used to.
It was a twin long.
It's smaller than I'm used to. Okay, I was young. This is when I was young, like 18. You know what I'm saying?
Twin.
And,
it was a twin long.
Yeah, it was an extra long twin.
Once you said 18, I already knew what it was.
Okay, okay. And this is when he was turning out the boys or whatever like that or whatever they used to call it. They used to say he was turning them out, like or whatever. But yeah, I was messing with the trade. Okay, I'm here. I was messing with the trade, and we were sneaking around and grow. Yeah, we had fell off the bed, and it was very high. I think it was like
now,
2 or 3 minutes. Huh?
Who fell on whom?
I fell off of him. Like he. So you know how the DL men are.
No, I don't.
The well, they're not. They want to bottom, but they're not used to it. So the positioning was very awkward. Like there was not like a serious arch in his back or anything like that.
You have to train.
Yeah, it was very stiff, and I was trying to move him in the right position, and he was kind of heavy and shit. So
do you prop with pillows? Because that works.
No, I don't use pillows. I use sheer strength. I like to.
I mean,
rock the boat.
Elbow in the back. Foot on the forehead.
Oh,
type of thing. Just joking.
Boots on, boots off.
No, wait. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, you know what? I think an injury for me happened afterwards because of just feeling that I was like an Olympic gymnast and just doing all these different positions, upside down, right side, sideways, upside, just against the cabinet, standing up upside down by the bookcase. What?
You was the Dominique Dolls in the bedroom, just doing all kinds of flips.
Come on,
yes.
Come on, Biles.
So I did all that, but you know, the next day at work, I was walking very stiff-legged, and you know, I had to soak in Epsom baths.
Yeah, I was about to say I've heard Epsom bath salt.
Yeah, I did. I keep those on hand now, you
I
know,
heard
but
that on YouTube. I heard that on YouTube.
but you do have to stretch.
It was in a song. I think it was like "Lick It Like a Cone," and they were talking about Epsom salt. But I heard it on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to research that. But yes, I had Troy, baby. And you couldn't tell me that I didn't win a gold medal that night. But I learned you do have to stretch before you do rigorous exercises. That's the word of caution to those in the chat.
I too have been there before where I needed an Epsom salt bath, okay, and some Vicodin and a shot of liquor, okay, oh period.
Okay, well damn.
Girl, it was big. It was big. Okay, let me tell you. Have you crawling up the walls? I was like, girl, get off of me.
Auntie, if you're in the bushes, Auntie, I told you that the panel may go off real, you know. Older family members in the bushes. I warned you beforehand, so I'm gonna hear this tomorrow. But of course, you know,
I'm sorry, Auntie. I apologize.
No, I mean, because they still think I'm a virgin.
Who? No, they don't.
You can't be a virgin.
I told them I just hug most of the time. But I didn't say after. Did I hug before or after? But anyway, enough on that, guys. What did you have? Did you have anything else that you guys wanted to discuss before we get out of here?
No. No. I mean, this is the most I'm supposed to speak because I'm just supposed to sit here and look pretty. So,
come on, little Richard. Woo, shut up.
I have nothing else to say. But I will say this: if my face employs you to go vote or pay attention to your politicians, or even watch a little more news, or even watch my little Google, things that I do on my news, then thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And you go out and vote, and you make sure you make a difference in November with all this face that I was born with.
And you know what? And that's the thing. I'm going to say this. People come over here there may be a panel member that they're coming to support. It's appreciated. But anyone can say, the naysayers and people in the bushes can say, each person didn't bring something to the panel because they just may not like that person in general. And that's that's your opinion. You could have that opinion. But again, if something's so boring, why are you watching it constantly?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
So, I mean, because if it's boring, I don't watch it. And I can be honest, I don't watch people that I don't find an interest in. I'm not going to just watch you just to roast you, because that would say that I'm a miserable person. I'm very miserable in my life that I got to find something wrong with you. And that's just in general. That's a thing that you could use in your life on a daily basis, co-workers, family, and friends.
Well, I just want to say shout out to the 300 people that was here watching the show. Make sure that you guys hit the like button. Make sure that you guys are subscribed. It's a very informative show from a male perspective that you can't find nowhere else on YouTube. Let me just say that.
I just appreciate you all because we're not the same. Everybody has their different perspective and different take on things, and it's really great. So I thank Rebel for hosting, and I believe the next person is who? Is it the 50?
It's me.
Yes.
What's good, y'all? It's me.
Come on, California. So
all right.
I'm excited, and everybody brings something different, and it's good. And like I said, I'm glad that we have attractors and detractors. We love you detractors as well as attractors because y'all come in and we appreciate it. So I want to say that.
Okay. Well, guys, what do y'all have coming up this weekend? Any plans? Or, because since we're kind of still quarantined, I guess things haven't changed drastically. We're doing the same basic things. Anything you're going out or what, guys?
I want everyone to pray for me. Okay, tonight. Okay, don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till tomorrow, okay? Because something is going on in the world right now, in the universe, okay? Things are lining up for the official campaign, and there's something that I really want right now. I've always wanted to be on this reality show, and I have an opportunity, and I just want you guys to pray, okay? Pray that I get on this show. Puriana to the Puriac. That's all I want y'all to do. Just pray for me. That's all I need is y'all prayers, okay? Y'all know where to find me. I'm the official campaign right here on YouTube, the home of the lituation. Heard.
Cap?
No, I'll be chilling on Cap Hill doing my midday news that I don't get from Google. And of course, on Tuesdays is politics and wellness and the recap from everything that's going on during the week on the weekends on Saturday. So that's about it.
Jay?
Me and my partner are going to Canyon Lake.
Partner?
Mm-hmm. We're going to Canyon Lake.
Did we just get the exclusive?
Right. Did we just get to drop a bomb? Somebody.
They have really good rice water.
Oh, that rice water.
Anyway, yeah, and you know, I just want you all to continue to come over. It's a lot of stuff going on in these YouTube streets, and so you know, I guess you know people either like it or don't. But I'm gonna ask the questions that need to be asked, and it may make some people happy, it may not, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, how do you feel from some that say that you had harsher questions for one person than you have for the other?
It depends on how they answered the question. Because everybody answered the question. So I asked hard questions to everyone, and certain people answered it with grace and finesse, and some other people answered it with, you know, anger and sarcasm. So hey, you know, I asked all those questions, so it's all good. I think everybody got equal type of questions. I mean, you know, if it was out there, I asked those questions.
Okay. You know what? I think that for me, my friends that came on, they've really enjoyed coming on. So I'm going to do this weekend. I plan on having 5-6 of my closest friends. So it'll be DJ, BJ, Red Scorpion, my friend Zeke, and Amy, myself. We're going to do like a, you know, they're going to all have their little squares to comment on things. So I'm going to get yeses and nos, and we're going to do that. So they really got, my friend DJ really likes coming on, but I've warned him about this sector. And I think me being his friend, I would want him to start in a different sector, because it seems like this whole thing of calling this sector the beef sector, it's like, why are we just willingly calling us? Why would you say like we're the ghetto sector? Why would you embrace that?
Because that's what people know, and they embrace what they know. You know, why is it have to be that we have to beef? Like, and if you're not beefing, then we're gonna make you beef by saying that you said something in somebody's chat which you did not, and you don't show no receipt, but because you say it, it's supposed to be. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. Granted, the president may be able to do that, but let's be a little smarter. Okay, let's dig a little deeper. If you don't have it, or if the person knows that they didn't do it, just leave it at that. Don't try to put people in stuff that is not involved in stuff. However, on the same token, don't try to be famous either and put yourself in things that don't have nothing to do with you. Just let it be and just stay out of it.
Exaggerate.
Inserting yourself.
To do that, yeah. So I think it's just really interesting. But at the end of the day, I just think it's funny, guys, how people get really invested in some of these things. But, you know, I don't ever want to be to the point where I hate somebody and don't really know them. But hey, what can you do?
And the sad thing is we're all adults. It's like sometimes I have to really wonder, you know, it's a high school type of a mindset, because I cannot like a person. You can like a person that I generally don't care for, but
I can
I'm not going to attack you because of you.
disagree a little bit with that because you could be an adult in a physical form as far as body wise and age, but mentally upstairs, you don't have to be an adult.
Well, that is true. A lot of people are, because it's that whole narcissism, the egos. I think a lot of egos have gone unchecked for so long that it's like they've developed this deity complex. I don't care if you have 200 subscribers, you still take a shit just like I do. So am I gonna sit back and run behind you and sing praises to you because you have a 200 or 500,000 subscribers? Makes no difference to me. I may have 20 people in the chat. Do you think someone just starting is going to have the same amount of people in their chat as someone that's been here so many years? Doesn't matter? Maybe those 20 people got something from your message that you were giving that day that 500 people didn't get from you, from that other person at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hobby for some of us. This is not our YouTube. For some is a hobby. It's not our livelihood. And it could be a money-making thing. That's cool. But sometimes some of us have came on here and it wasn't about the money. Some of us, it just is at the end of the day, you can't, and this is my opinion, Jay, but you can't sell your soul to the devil for money like that. This is how I feel, that sometimes greed can make a person lose part of their humanity.
Yeah.
It can. And that's the whole thing. And this is why you have to remember all coin ain't good coin. And I think some people have done some stuff that in real life that has been brought on YouTube to really make them look bad. And I know people will come after me, but everybody has gotten their change back from me. As a matter of fact, we're not having the Labor Day because of COVID, but not one person said I didn't get my money back. But everybody can't say that. That's all I'm saying. So all money ain't good money, but at the end of the day, these people complain, but they're simply over. And that's the big thing. When you change your attitude, then the content creators will have to adjust and change.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, so we've been on for quite a minute now. We went over the hour.
Way over. You must be feeling better, Rob.
No, because I am really drowsy right now. I'm drowsy and I feel kind of, sluggish. But I don't have a headache and my allergies are not, flared up anymore. But it's like you're terrified. It's like I'm very mindful not to display anything like that. When I'm at a store, I'm like, oh God, do I have to sneeze? Please don't sneeze, because I'm going to cause a stampede in here if I sneeze.
People going to be looking at you like, did you just cough?
It's like, you do realize it's still allergy season. There's pollen. There are things that you get affected by every year. And I have bad allergies. So it's like, oh, damn, let me get around this corner so I can sneeze because, it's, but I'm feeling better, guys. And I'll be into a diabetic coma in about an hour. But you guys come, support each of the gentlemen. Go, catch Captivating, talking to politics, Official Kingpin, doing his documentaries and keeping it lit. Jay gives a word of positive, and you do your pastoring at 2:00 on Sunday still, right?
Correct. I still do that. Yes.
And I think that you notice when you do your services, you don't get the same numbers.
No. It's okay though, because people are still there, and they're
getting something from it.
Yeah. And I will say this, because I don't do the numbers thing, but it's really funny that people come after me, but my church services that are boring. Yeah. So I just tell people to come up. And I think you all are doing a great job. And like I said, you don't have to argue with everyone because they want to argue. Know what you have. Know what you have. And when you know what you have, you don't have to give people that. But when people want to argue with you, you know that you've arrived.
Okay. And with that being said, y'all, we are going to shut it down. Thank you guys for coming out. I love for you to come out and support all the gentlemen. This is home of the Sun Tribe. I am Rebel Sun. Shine some light on me.
Rebel Sun.
Yes, rebel son shine some light on me. And you guys, again, just keep a. It's easier being positive than negative, and just be a positive influence and let people know that they got something. They should be able to come to your platform and walk away feeling that they've gotten something from it.
Yeah. And Rebel, I know people are coming in at me, and let them. That's great. Y'all have a great day. So whoever said that, thank you. Samantha Brooks, thank you. And I'm glad she's doing it in a calm manner, because that's good. That's an improvement, whoever that is. But thank you for letting me know.
Oh, you know what? Let me say this so we could just do it real quick, y'all. I wanted to say this, and this is going to take just a few minutes, and I forgot about it.
It's your floor.
Yeah. The official King Payne, you suggested that if two singers in this modern day and time did The Boy Is Mine, who on the panel, who would you guys like to see do a modern version of that? The Boy Is Mine. What two female singers, or even possibly gay singers if you want to, but you know what? Who?
I would like to see. You see, I was going for more of. I would like to see like a remix with like maybe like a Doja Cat and a Meg Thee Stallion with some eye candy. You got somebody foreign like a girl. I'm drawing a blank.
Absolute said Beyonce and Keisha Cole. That would be. I think that would be a good matchup.
I don't know about the Keisha Cole part.
Captivating.
Well, I mean, as you were talking, the thought that popped in my head was to totally change it around and make it like, since there is like this beef, whatever, to make it like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Yeah. Okay. Or we could do like a Faith and Jocelyn Hernandez, because you know how Stevie left Jocelyn with Faith.
But Jocelyn Hernandez can't even speak.
Or then add Lil Kim into it, because Biggie and Lil Kim, and then add Faith. So put Faith. So yeah, even though Biggie is dead, but yeah, because Lil Kim and Faith, and now Faith and Jocelyn. I think that would be good, but none of them can sing except Faith.
Yeah, that's
well. Brandy can't really sing either.
What?
Well, watch it.
What? Now I would now like
But let me say this. Brandy has more hits than the other chick.
I will say this, in the words of T.S. Madison, I don't think she's the vocal Bible, as people say, but she may have a scripture in there.
Let me say, full moon. I don't.
Oh yeah. I'm not even gonna front. Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie. When I walked up in the club, he was giving me the eye. We could dance if you want.
You know what? Because people say that about Mary J. Blige, that she can't sing.
The thing about Mary J. Blige though is the emotion that she gives to her songs. The songs already deal in a certain kind of thing, and it's the emotion that carries on with it. But somebody said the Clark sisters. That's funny though. But the Clark sisters with what was the other sister group? The gospel group.
The Pace Sisters.
The Pace Sisters. That would be different. Yeah.
Or Karen Clark younger versus Vanessa Bell Armstrong younger, because Vanessa Bell Armstrong was nothing to play with when she was younger.
No, she wasn't.
Or we could do like an Escape TLC. We're gonna take it back to the Clark sisters.
Escape
and
with voices. Escape.
TLC weren't like vocalists like Escape. I think Escape were better vocalists than TLC. I like TLC more than Escape, but I wouldn't say that T-Boss.
Right, because if I put like Escape, what I would do like maybe like an In Vogue and Escape kind of. SWV. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant. I said 3OW. I meant to say SWV.
A 1970 group, Pointer Sisters, who was bad at their prime, versus them. Because I'm gonna tell you, people be sleeping on them Pointer Sisters, but them Pointer Sisters was bad back in the day. I'm just saying.
Yeah. What about Rihanna and Beyonce?
No.
No, and I was talking about that the other day on my show. A lot of people want to pit Rihanna and Beyonce. No, y'all forget about Ciara. Okay, it's more Ciara Rihanna than Beyonce was ever on any of their levels. I would like to see a Ciara Rihanna versus or any kind of thing.
In the same
Ciara, you
yes,
talking about Ciara, 1 2 step. That's Ciara.
What do you think?
Yes, 1 2 steps here.
I like Pete better. I'm so sorry.
Beyonce's better all the way around artist, better vocalist, better performer, better dancer.
I think Ciara is a better performer than Beyonce.
Who?
Ciara is a better performer. I think she's a better dancer, of course, than Beyonce. I think that Beyonce is an entertainer, but she's not like she can dance, but she's not like she's not a dancer like Ciara. Beyonce is more of a dancer like Rihanna, I think.
I don't think so, Rebel. I don't know. Because if Ciara was all that, then she would be where Beyonce is.
That's not true either, though, Jay. Beyonce found her little.
I would rather go pay to see a Beyonce.
Beyonce is iconic. She's like the Patti LaBelle's, the Whitney Houstons, the Mariah Carey. She's up there, like, you know what I'm saying? She's legendary.
So I could be biased if I wanted to.
I'm telling you to the Michael Jackson female. I think she give me female Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson was a good singer in his youth. But when he got older, he was a better performer. But when you talk about Patti LaBelle, you talking about people who can sing. Beyonce can sing, but not sing. I think she's on that Michael Jackson tip. I mean, she can sing, but let me say this: when they was doing Dream Girls, I would have rather listened to my homegirl, what's her name, than Beyonce.
Right.
Jennifer Hudson.
Slow it down.
Jennifer Hudson can sing, but Jennifer Hudson don't know how to make it cute and sweet. Like she just be yelling and stuff. But Beyonce is very controlled.
But that is the difference between singing, like we.
But Beyonce could give all that, but she don't. She connects to you on more of an emotional, like like deep level. That I'm gonna catch the Holy Ghost in this room right now.
Is it me, or you could always tell the songs that Beyonce, sorry, Rebel, that you could always tell the songs that Beyonce wrote compared to songs that she did not.
She doesn't really write,
you could tell the difference. And the songs that she wrote are like, okay, I'm a grown woman.
But people talk about Sade.
I do whatever I want.
They talk about Sade when Sade has a very mellow, but she doesn't do a lot of different type of vocal array. She's like one-dimensional, but I could listen to a Sade album.
I can't because I get sleepy.
I feel like the best
too much for me.
I love Fantasia. Fantasia is the best of both worlds. She can sing and she can sing.
Yeah, Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson might be good.
Exactly. Yeah, now that's who she is. Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson. Now that's the good combo right there.
Fantasia.
That's good.
Kiki Wyatt can sing too, but she kind of be doing too much sometimes with the echo and stuff.
Being pregnant and having babies.
She got too many babies.
She got to feed those babies, y'all.
Period.
But y'all,
Fantasia definitely is it.
Y'all, let's go and wrap it up, guys. I'll be in the bushes. A lot of times I'm in your bushes when y'all do y'all video, when you're doing your lives, because sometimes it could be off-putting if you come into someone else's live and you're speaking. And I'm very mindful of that because you're talking about something. And if you go into a chat, sometimes it diverts the conversation because people will start expecting you to speak to 20 people. And, you're like trying to be like respectful to the host. Because some people are I'm not like that, but I've seen content creators that have been wrong. They feel like you've rubbed them the wrong way because you come into their chat.
You're trying to steal their members. You're trying to steal their people.
Okay, y'all, but we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming through again. It's been great. I had a good time tonight, even though I was, kind of on one, like I had sipped some scissor, like my Jess had said in the group chat. But guys, we're gonna go. Thank you. Much love to y'all. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Thanks for coming.